What's up, guys? Welcome to Wednesday with the wife. There's Jennifer, my beautiful wife. She may not be speaking a whole lot today. She's feeling a little bit under the weather, but it's all good because I had something I wanted to address. Tidbits into our marriage is kind of the goal for this day, this playlist, this whatever series that I'm doing. And something that I really felt was important when I dedicated my life to her was that my hands, my arms don't touch another woman. And a lot of people, let me back up just a little bit. I do not have friends of the opposite sex. I do not keep up with old girlfriends. None of that stuff. So I'm very, very serious about that. And what I was talking about with my hands, a lot of people, they'll pray for people and they'll put their hands on them and they'll hold hands with another woman, or I don't do any of that. It's even been to the point that during a play that we were acting in, I was supposed to be the husband of another woman. I declined the part because I did not feel right embracing another woman, even if it was just on stage. Now, I did catch a lot of flack for that. A lot of people were like, it's just theater, and that's fine for them. Everybody has different convictions, but for me, my hands, my arms, they're made to embrace my wife. They're made to comfort my wife.
Everybody thought I was jealous.
Yeah.
It was my fault.
Yeah, I had questions of whether she was jealous, and they didn't realize that it was me. It was my call. So I feel like if you're going to dedicate your life to another person, if a man is going to marry a woman, that woman should be it. You are designed to please that woman, to comfort that woman, to take care of that woman. And it goes as far as holding hands. For me, anyway, it goes as far as holding hands with a woman while we pray at church, or, comforting them. You have to be very, very careful. It's very important to me. I know that she has some things about how she feels about it, so I'll let her.
Well, I just feel I feel like it's protection for our marriage, because I feel like it doesn't matter if it's theater or not. Just that example that we have is you're still flesh and blood, and you still things can be felt by people even if the intentions are good. So it's always important to guard your heart, and the way you do that is to guard, what you see, what you touch, what you talk about. So
it's just another door that the devil can use.
Right. It just makes me feel secure. And I don't know, is cherished a silly word? Because it kind of makes me feel that way.
No, it makes sense.
Because I know that when he prays with me and he lays hands on me and holds me, and I know that it's just for me, that we're not going to go to church Sunday and he's going to put his hand on another woman and pray for her too. And not that he wouldn't pray for her, but, he wouldn't lay hands on her. And it just makes me feel special. And that goes a long way in a relationship.
It does. Like I said, some people might not have that conviction, but for me, it's a unique thing. It's very powerful to say that my hands are for my wife. So if I'm going to touch someone, pray for them, hold them in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be for my wife, period.
At the theater, where we do a lot of volunteer work and we also participate in the productions, before every show, whether you're backstage in a production or out front running, what do you call it? Working, volunteering, you have prayer and everyone holds hands. And I remember one day we were fixing to have prayer, and Aaron happened to be standing beside a lady, or it was me, Aaron, and a lady, and he wouldn't hold her hand, and she reached for his retched. Is that a word? Retched. That's an awful word. She reached for his hand, and he declined. He wouldn't take her hand. But then afterwards, he went and explained to her what the situation was, and what he's just said to you all. And I remember her coming to me, and she had tears in her eyes. Actually, she had a little tear run down her cheek, and said, "I just want you to know that the way your husband feels about you, and the way he protects you, is the most precious thing I have ever seen." And I was afraid, because I thought she was offended and thought he was rude, but it was just the opposite. It made her see the love that he has for me and the respect that he has for me, even in that. And she was just really touched by it. And I thought, people don't see it. I'm always afraid they're going to get upset and think that you're rude. But women wish that their husbands would be the same, is what I've ran into.
Yeah. And I'm not rude when I'm in these situations, but I'm very careful to not hold hands, and I don't, put my arm around them or anything like that. It's a very cousin-like hand on the shoulder if we're praying, and I just,
if anything at all, most of the time you don't do anything.
Yeah, most of the time I will just politely put my hands behind my back, kind of a parade rest.
It's
stance.
just if we're someone that we're close to, kind of like family.
Yeah.
That he's comfortable with that. Because that's not they know.
For me personally, I feel that if you're married, the opposite sex should make you uncomfortable. Because the more comfortable you are with the opposite sex, the more the devil's just going to beat at you and grind on you and just try to break you down. So I have tried to very much so distance myself from any type of relationship, communicating, any of that. I'm very strict with that. I do work in customer service, and there's a lot of women that come in and out. So I try my best to cut it very short. I have to be nice. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. But I'm businesslike. A lot of people, I remember we had a conversation in a meeting, and somebody said that they wanted us to try to build a relationship with the customer. And I can understand how that's good for business, but I don't care if you're going to the beach. I don't care what you're doing with the rest of your day. It's none of my business. I am not your spouse. I am not in your family. And I ain't going to the beach with you. So I'm more business end of everything when it comes to the females that come in and out of my shop. And I'm different with the guys. They're guys. I cut up with them. I talk, especially the ex-military people. But you have to be very, very careful with the opposite sex. And I am.
Even how respectful you are about kneeling.
Yes, yes. I try to, because the females are in their car. So if they're in a car and not like an SUV that's set up higher, I try to kneel down and get down eye level with the person. That way it's not even a question of whether I'm looking down their blouse or anything like that.
And you've been commended on how people come back because of how you treat them.
Yeah.
They feel respected. I know when I've been in places like where he works, women normally do not feel very respected.
Yeah, it's a very complimenting thing when a female will come in and say, "My husband wanted me to start coming here because y'all are so professional." That's good, and that's what I like, and I preach it to my guys. They get sick of hearing it. But you should not treat anybody that comes through the way you wouldn't want your wife, your daughter, or your mother treated when they went somewhere. And a lot of people don't get it, especially the younger guys. But once I start, feeding it into them, they're like, that makes sense. So I feel like I've created the atmosphere to where we're respectful to the opposite sex. And in this day and time, that goes a long way. So that's just a short video, short view into something small that's huge in my life. Guys, you really need to think about your hands and what it could do and the message that you could send by talking to the opposite sex, by even the way you pray for them. It speaks volumes, and it can always be misinterpreted. So just a little tidbit. That's Wednesday with the wife. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all have any questions or anything about this topic, feel free to drop a comment. Anything else that you would like for us to address, or even if you got questions about our marriage,
we're collecting questions.
Yeah, we're collecting questions for what is it? Kind of like a Q&A thing. Once we get 5 or 6, 10.
We already have 5 or 6. I was thinking 20.
Once we have a few questions, we're going to make a video and just address a whole lot of things. So feel free to ask. We're wide open. Until next time, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful week. God bless you. Thank y'all.